So, not too long ago, I think it's been a week now, I passed my theory test with great results, to be honest, with amazing results. I got 49 out of 50 in my multiple choice, and I got 67 out of 75 in my hazard perception. This was my first time, just to let you know. I passed my theory test first time. And today I just want to share some of the things that I did which helped me get those great results in my theory test. First thing I want to say is that if you do not pass your theory test first time, it's still okay, because I think only 47% of people who did the theory test actually passed it. So it's kind of shows that, to an extent, like, the theory test is challenging and it is a bit hard. So I think the first thing that people will generally ask is, which one should I buy? Should I use the book or should I use the app? So for me, I actually use both the book and the app. I first used the book because I prefer reading from books. I prefer having a physical book to read and study from. But I also got the app because for the theory test, it's not just multiple choice questions, it's also hazard perception. And the book doesn't have hazard perception, whereas the app does. So I use the app for hazard perception, but also to do like some mock tests, some practice tests, because in the app there are sort of like practice questions, practice tests that you can do. But the book also does have practice questions as well. So I kind of use both of them. But to be honest, the questions that were in the book and on the app, they were basically the same thing. So if you are just getting the app for an example, don't feel like you're missing out too much if you don't get the book. And in terms of the app that I actually used, I used an app called Theory. Well, it's called Theory 4-in-1. It's the one that looks like this, as you can see right here. And on this app, for example, if you can see, I'm not sure if you can see it, but you have the theory test, you have hazard perception, you have highway codes, and you have road signs. When I was preparing for my theory test, I basically only used theory test and hazard perception. So in the theory test, you have this right here. So at the top it says activate pass guarantee, which is like, that one is like you would pay like 25 or something pounds for it, and then they will basically try and prepare you for the test, and if you don't pass, then you get your money back. You also have practice all questions, which I have used, as you can tell. You have videos, you have alertness, attitude. These are all the topics that you need to learn, which could potentially be in your theory tests. So as you can tell, as you may or may not see, alertness has 26 questions, attitude has a lot of questions. The one I dreaded the most was roads and traffic signs, because of how many questions there are, practice questions there are in that one, which is 133, which is a lot. But yeah, so generally, if you are thinking of just getting the app, just don't think that you are missing out on anything if you don't get the book. Yeah, so I think there are 15 sections, 15 topics in the multiple choice for the theory test. And I go back, and then you can also do a mock test. So in the mock test, is I'm sure you guys know what a mock test is, but if you don't, it's basically a test that you would get if you were to do the real exam, the real theory test. So for the theory test for the multiple choice is actually 57 minutes and there's 50 questions. All of it is multiple choice, so you don't need to write anything down. All like in the theory test, you will literally sit down on a computer and just kind of click which one you think is right. They'll give you a question, then you pick which one out of the 4 sort of selections that you can pick. And for the theory test, for the multiple choice, you need to get 43 out of 50, which is actually very high, especially when you compare it to the hazard perception. I think that is, was it 86%? Yeah, 86% for the multiple choice. But don't worry, because I know you will take it seriously. Oh my gosh, yes. You need to take your theory test very seriously. Like, if you haven't booked it already, I encourage you to book it now, because that will force you to, well, it should anyway, force you to become more serious about your theory tests. And one thing that I did to make sure that I was very serious, that I was basically taking it seriously, was that I basically, out of my day, maybe 30 minutes to an hour of my day every day, to just look, read, study it, study theory, study everything that I need to know. And at least once a week I would do some mock practice questions so that I can really fully understand it. And then when it got closer to the weeks of my preparation to the test, so maybe like 2 weeks until my test, I was basically just doing mock question. I was doing mock tests. I was just doing, practice question. No, I was doing practice questions, and I was doing like the mock test on the app. I was doing at least 1 or 2 every single day because I was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to pass it. I've been preparing for this for too long now. I need to pass my test. So let's also continue on. Okay, so that is the theory test. Then hazard perception. So basically, if you don't know what hazard perception is, it's basically a video of you, as in you are in the car, and what you would see if you were in the driving seat. And you basically just have to be more alert, very alert. So anytime you see a potential hazard that could cause you to slow down, or basically slow down or to stop, then you have to press the screen which shows that you see a hazard, and pretty much it. But also, when you see the hazard, you need to make sure that you see it on time and not too late. There'll be this sort of thing, will be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 sort of points. And well, the aim of it is to try and get to the 5 point, which is like where you should potentially have seen the hazard. And then number 1 is like, I feel like number 1 is when you're like quite late. Is that a very good way of explaining it? I'm not sure, guys. But basically, in this app, for hazard perception, so if I just kind of do a practice one, as you can tell. So if I do one, let's see if you guys can do it with me. So, yeah, as you can see, I haven't done this in a while. As I can see a potential hazard, I click 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see the flags? That's when I see a hazard. See, look, I had to slow down there, so that is a hazard. Oh my gosh. Hopefully I get 5. Hopefully I get 5. 5 out of 5. So that means that I saw the hazard. I saw the hazard on time, basically. If I want to review the clip to see.
You are travelling on a rural road surrounded by fields and farmland. Beware of enclosed gateways which could be hiding emerging vehicles, cattle, or pedestrians. Ahead, the road narrows and there are oncoming vehicles. Reduce your speed as you approach the bridge and be prepared to give way.
Okay. Oh, wow. It's been like more than a week since I've done this. But yeah, that's basically kind of the hazard perception. And in the actual exam, in the actual test, you will, I think it's what is it? Yeah, it was 14. You have 14 video clips of the hazard perception, and you need to try and click on time. And I believe, let me just check. Yeah, so you need to get at least 44 out of 75 to pass your hazard perception. And the thing is that with your theory test, you can't pass one and not pass the other. You have to pass both of them. Oh, and also for your hazard perception, which I feel like you guys really need to notice, that when you are clicking on your hazard perception, I encourage you to click 3 times in a row. So go 1, 2, 3, or, you know, as you can see, I did it 4 times and I was fine. But do not click it like, don't click it like 10 times, otherwise they will just disqualify you. You get what I mean? Let me get the book now so that you guys can see that. Okay, I've got the book now. So this is the book that I used. Can you see it? Yes, you can. I believe you can anyway. So, DVSA, theory test. And yeah, it basically contains everything that you need to know for your theory test. So, pretty much it. So, yeah, in your theory test, it's gonna kind of like look like this in your multiple choice. It's gonna exactly, it literally looks like that, guys. Yeah, you need to read and study this. You may need to make notes or just read it and reread it, read it out loud, whatever. Kind of think of it like how you would revise at school for like your biology, your geography, other subjects, chemistry, even, no, maths. I feel like maths is just questions. No, maths as well, yeah. The way that you would revise for a subject at school, just revise the same as, yeah. The way that you revise at school, just kind of implement that into your theory. Yeah. And also at the end of each topic, there are questions for you to do, which I highly advise you to do. Practice questions was the main key thing that really helped me to do well and actually pass my theory. Yeah, guys. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. And yes, I have passed my theory, but now I've got my practical to do. I'm just so happy I've got theory out of the way, because theory, that's out of the way, that's done. Now I've got to do practical. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed it and found it useful, and make sure to like and subscribe if you like this video, and I will see you when I next see you, which hopefully, fingers crossed, will be next week, but I'm not sure. So yeah, actually I want to be consistent, so I'm gonna try and do next week. So thank you, bye guys. And here is a clip of me feeling quite nervous, well, very nervous actually, for my theory test. And this was on the day that I did it. I did it at around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, I was super nervous, like really nervous doing it. So I was so nervous, like what's that thing? Butterflies were flying in my stomach, you know, that type of nervous. I was really nervous, just to let you know. So yeah. But anyway, here is a clip. So yeah, clip. Here you go. Hey guys, so literally right now I'm going to do my theory test and I'm scared. I'm so nervous. Fingers crossed that I do well. I mean, I've been preparing, but I'm just really nervous. So, yes. Hopefully I will get it. I will pass. Hopefully I will pass.